welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Let's take a look and see who's in my green room tonight. My first guest knows how to make great restaurants. He also knows how to make great TV shows. He's been awarded 16 Michelin stars for his food and 3 Michelin asterisks for his swearing. It is, of course, Gordon Ramsay. Gordon, always great to see you here. Gordon Ramsay. Alongside Gordon is a brilliant stand-up comedian. He's recently completed a record-breaking world tour, selling out in America, China, Australia, New Zealand and Canada. He's got a brand new TV series on as well. It's always great to have him on the show. Mr. Russell Howard.
Hello.
Russell, looking very dapper.
Thank you.
On the show tonight, we have a great singer with us. She's had 4 #1 singles, a #1 album. Now she's back with brand new material. She'll be chatting and giving an exclusive performance at the end of the show. It's the gorgeous Rita Ora. How lovely to have Rita on the show. And completing what is a fabulous lineup tonight is one of the biggest stars in the world. With his multi-platinum debut album in 2011, he broke big in Britain. He then broke America, and this week he's broken his arms. So I'm delighted he's fit enough to be with us tonight. It's Ed Sheeran! I know his arms is holding up. Oh, dear. I'll help you down the stairs, all right? He looks sorry for himself. I mean, look at him. OK, in America this week, a woman took her dog, the dog's name is Sam, took him to the vet for an operation, and before she took him home, the vet gave her some medication to help his recovery. Now, I don't know what it was they gave him, but it was definitely the good stuff. Just check out his face. Look at this. He looks happy now, but he's going to feel rough in the morning. I didn't even know Charlie Sheen was a vet. Now, there was news this week that some of the royal family's kitchen staff have had enough and they've walked out. After cooks walked out of the Windsor Castle kitchen this week, the Queen was said to be very disappointed and, I imagine, very hungry. The poor royal family, they've got no one to cook them dinner. What are you, Republicans? But on the plus side, the Windsor branch of Nando's is doing a roaring trade. This seems like a brilliant opportunity, though, and this is why I mention it, for Britain's top chef to step in and take over the royal kitchen. Because only the very best in the business will do. So, Gordon, obviously, I'm going to ask you, have you got Jamie's number? Because what we could do... Oh, I'm just joking. I'm joking, Gordon. You know I'm joking. I'm joking. It has to be Heston, doesn't it? And there was an amazing story this week from Mississippi in the USA following reports that a wild cougar was on the loose. There have been a number of sightings, people obviously concerned for their safety. Now, imagine, if you can, how great it would be if you were the reporter sent to cover this story, and the moment when you're doing the piece to camera live on air, the cameraman spots the cougar just a few feet behind you. That would be like the scoop of the century. Here's what happened. Have a look at this.
I'm Scott Mattis, live in Hernando, Mississippi, where there has been spottings of a cougar, and that's not it. That looks like a house cat. But we're just feet away from where our local man rolled his cell phone video on what some say is a cougar. I'll be right back with a live report.
Let's get my first guest out. There are some very talented celebrity chefs around these days, but none of them has achieved what he has. None of them is a global superstar like this man. It is the unique and sublimely talented Mr. Gordon Ramsay.
See you.
It's great to have you back on the show.
Likewise.
It always is. You know what? I'm going to start talking about this new thing you've done. Because this is a bold step in a new direction for you.
Yes.
Gordon Ramsay has a documentary out. The first episode's already gone out. The next episode is on Thursday night, next Thursday on ITV. And it has a mischievous title, this documentary. It's called Gordon Ramsay on Cocaine.
Yeah, no,
That's what it's called.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not on it.
No.
I'm sort of in it.
But I felt a bit cheated when I tuned in.
No, it's near and dear, and it's obviously everywhere, and it's obviously a huge problem. Suffered a great loss years ago to an amazing young man, and it's rife.
Let's go back on that. So this is clearly, it is a personal project for you. It's something which has touched your life because, as you were just saying, someone who worked for you,
Yes.
he lost his life because of cocaine use.
Yeah, we had dinner the night before. He passed. I'd wish I'd seen signs earlier. You know, cooking at that level, everyone's under pressure, but you don't need that substance to continue. So it was a big loss.
The rumours I've heard is that it is rife in the catering trade because it's a high-pressure job.
Yeah, and also I think the image today of a chef is, you know, everyone thinks it's this sort of rock and roll lifestyle, and you need that kind of, you know, help, that substance. But the turning point for me was last year when, in one of the restaurants, a customer handed back a side plate and told the waiter, look, we've just done a few lines, can we change a side plate because we'd like to get some more bread?
Wow.
Yeah, so...
So it's that open?
That open. That's lunchtime on a Monday in a restaurant in the middle of the town. So, yeah.
I think it's a great documentary you've made. I haven't seen part 2 yet. I'm really looking forward to that. It's this Thursday night. Let's have a look at this.
After Jose finishes mixing in the cement, the next delightful ingredient is added. Sulfuric acid, dissolved in water.
My eyes are burning. My eyes are burning.
¿Vas a llorociar?
I'm appalled at what goes into it. I mean, the cement was hard enough, but the sulfuric acid.
This mixture is put into a barrel and doused in gasoline. This is then left to marinate to draw the cocaine from the leaf.
It's like something out of fucking Harry Potter. Does he know who Harry Potter is?
¿Tú sabes quién es Harry Potter?
No.
No. Thank fuck for that.
That's an unusual question to ask him.
It was all bubbling and festering and it looked gross.
And you went to meet, I believe in the second episode, you went to meet the gang who kind of control that trade in that area.
Yeah.
Now, that must be a dangerous place to be.
It was very dangerous. We had an amazing fixer on the ground for 3 months prior to entering into that sort of neighbourhood. Then when we got there, we got sort of stitched with a dummy address, spotters all on the roofs, windows down. We had to take off, you know, trackers. And I think for the first time in my life, when I walked inside this room, you know, from AK-47s to Glocks to wraps of coke, bullets sprayed everywhere. So these 3 guys, they handed me the Glock, and I think it was the first time I sort of felt that, damn, you know, if this kicks off, you know, I need a gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous show. I think it's a tremendous show you've made. Are you going to make more documentaries? Are you going to spend your time more doing this kind of thing? Or was this just because it was such a personal issue for you?
Yeah, you know, the shiny floor stuff's all great, but the passionate stuff for me, you know, like the prison doc and shark bait, you know, I need to do that. That's the stuff that I really, you know, want to conquer.
You're not giving up cooking shows, are you? You've just signed a big deal to do more, I believe.
Yes.
OK. What are you laughing at? Go,
No,
go.
because you're gonna be sarcastic now.
Should I be sarcastic about
Yes. Yes.
I should be.
Yes.
Why?
Fuck it,
They're not very good? Or what? What are you saying? What are you...
No,
are you using this to confess something?
No. We just... Yeah, things are going really well. So we have that kind of, you know, that amazing position to be in, 1 foot in each camp. But, you know, when I do something, as you know, I need to do it properly.
I love Kitchen Nightmares in particular. You've stopped doing them, though, haven't you? Kitchen Nightmares? Or you doing more of
Yes,
them?
yes,
That's a
I've
shame.
stopped.
I
Yeah,
loved it.
wow, yeah. It's a... you give them all the help they want. They become successful, you don't get any praise. They fail, you get blamed.
But a lot of them fail after the event, don't they? A lot of them don't follow your advice, it seems to me.
Yeah, that's right. Not all of them fail, though. We have a bit of a success
Most
rate.
of them failed.
Bullshit.
But, Gordon, when I watch it in the evening, and it's on every night on ITV2 or something.
Yes.
I watch it every night before bed almost. My wife says, why are you watching them again? I said, I don't know, I like the show. I like seeing your face before it. It's reassuring. You're like a...
You should not be watching me before you go to bed.
Well...
That's not a good image.
My wife likes it because it acts as a sort of contraceptive. She knows I'm not going to... You know, she knows I'm not going to be in the mood after it. I can't do it. I'll just be looking at Whams. But I like watching it. But then I always go online. Always go online afterwards. Kitchen Nightmares, restaurant name, closed.
They were going to close anyway, so we give them the sort of prescription, the medicine...
You do give them a boost, for sure.
Yes.
That certainly helps. So you're not doing this well. What kind of shows are you doing now, then? What are the cooking shows or the cooking-related shows that you're going forward with?
We just finished Hell's Kitchen Season 17 in the US. A couple of exciting things in the pipeline here with ITV. So, yeah, I suppose I'm working smarter, not harder.
But you're a big star now. You're a big star in America, which is remarkable. But you're a huge star, aren't you?
I'm a busy boy.
But you're huge. It must be a weird thing, because who... really, you know what I mean? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because no one else had done it from coming from cooking to become a TV star like you.
We get some of your shows on cable.
Oh, yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I hope you watch me every night before bed. But they let you swear. This is the amazing thing. American TV, because they're more prudish than we are, but they do let you swear on your shows, don't they?
Yes. Oh, they bleep the fucking thing, so it's always annoying.
But you can. You're not somebody... It's not like a Tourette's type thing. It's not like an impulse you can't control.
Right.
You can... When you're in certain situations, I've noticed that you have no problem not swearing.
I mean, listen, it's an industry language, and I think it's important to get straight to the point. So if someone's, you know, acting, you know, like an idiot, then...
But that's what's funny on the show. So, you called someone a fucking disgusting French pig.
Right.
And I don't even know if he was French. I mean, I think that was just one of the words you threw in.
Oh, he was. He was definitely French,
Was he?
trust me.
Okay.
Yeah, his kitchen was a mess, he was dirty, and his nails were all black. Do you want to eat food from a chef who's got black nails?
I don't mind. Because here's the thing, when I watch your show, you go in, they give you food, and you go, it's disgusting. I'm thinking, that looks all right. You know, I bet I would eat in those restaurants. So I go, me and my wife, we go, that was lovely.
You haven't got my palate.
So you're like a super taster. Do you taste things more than regular people, do you think? Or it's just that you are attuned to...
No, I've got an amazing tongue. I've got an amazing... Come on. I've got an amazing...
That sort of boasting isn't attractive.
No, but it's a refined palate.
It's a refined palate?
Yes.
OK.
Yes.
But did you always have a refined palate? Because you, like me, come from a piss-poor background. You come from... No, your family was a poor family, weren't they?
My mum's watching.
Well, but she was poor back then. Now,
Yeah,
hopefully,
know,
you've looked... Is she still poor? Oh, shame on you. Shame on you, Ramsey.
I wouldn't call it... I mean, her house.
So you don't want her to watch because you don't want to see how well you're doing?
I bought Mum a house.
Oh, you say that now.
Yeah. But you're right, we grew up in a council estate.
OK, so
you
didn't have a refined palate then?
No, eggs and chips, beans on toast, and, yeah, what else? Porridge, made with water.
Well, we used to dream of porridge with water. OK, but here's the way I started on this, is because if you look at Kitchen Nightmares, and when someone messes up in the kitchen, you let them have it.
Sometimes, yes.
But the kids' show, MasterChef Junior, on that, when she was told, yeah, it's a different Gordon. Just like you a split personality.
Oh, shit.
It's like Jekyll and Hyde.
I'm a fucking chef, for God's sake.
Well, you say that. Let's have a look at... He used to be. I tell you, I've been to his house, he's got a beautiful microwave. Top of the line, Michael, beautiful. You go in, when you're driving up, you hear ping, 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 beautiful.
Stop fucking around,
OK,
come on.
let's have a look. This is Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef Junior mashed together so you can see the two sides of Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, do me a favour. Yes, sir. Take that off and fucking up out of here. Get out!
I have 3 daughters, Holly, Meg and Matilda, and they always cry in the kitchen, but they cry with laughter, so I'm not leaving till you laugh. Good luck.
Your special has now become not very special, thanks to Dick Face there. Donkey!
Turn that down. Now, that's what I call a flambe.
You're cooking in a burnt pan, you fucking dick!
I didn't know that. Do you know who my favourite chef is?
No.
You.
Thank you.
The two sides of Mr. Gordon Ramsay. Do you cook at home much still?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
You enjoy cooking still?
Yeah, I mean, Tilly's a great young chef. Jack cooks brilliantly. So, yeah, it's weekends.
Now, you mentioned your children. I believe you're something... I guess we all are to an extent, but you're something of an embarrassing father to them, I believe. They find you quite embarrassing, is this correct?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go to any more parents' evening or do selfies with the headmistress or
Did you turn
Skype her.
up? You turned up at a parents' evening in Speedos once, or did I just hear that?
I was showing her pictures of an Ironman, a triathlon. Look, you know, this is what I do at weekends. You ever thought about doing one? Because you can join the club. And then the French teacher wants to speak French with me. I've got a great accent in French. And
Have you? Yeah.
Oui. Vous parlez français, quand même?
Yeah, that sounds OK.
Oh, shit.
Oui,
Yes.
je parle un peu, monsieur.
Je parle un peu, monsieur.
Ouais.
You need the bathroom?
Monkey.
Monkey. The guests are waiting. Move your fucking ass. Come on.
I'm enjoying being with you.
No, but I remember you speaking to me in Japanese, Flo. Do you still speak Japanese?
That is proper Japanese.
And what the fuck does that mean?
That means I speak a little, but I'm not very good yet.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
It's the same shit you were telling me 10 years ago.
That's all I've got.
It's fucking late. Move your ass. Shit!
I think we can see where the power lies in this relationship. He's used to shouting and people jump. Well, look at this. Shout all you want, Ramsay. I ain't jumping.
We have to move.
Do we?
I've got a show to shoot.
Tough. Those drug friends of yours can wait. Okay. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Gordon, I know you're in a hurry, but you're going to stay here all night. I'm pleased to say. And, you know, let me congratulate you, because we always have fun. But I think the show you've done, Gordon Ramsay on Cocaine, the second episode is on ITV on Thursday night. You can watch the first one on the ITV Hub. That's where they have the catch-up shows. It's a tremendous documentary, and clearly you've invested a lot yourself and taken a lot of risk doing it. So congratulations. I think it's an important thing you do, because a lot of people watch this show who might not otherwise watch that kind of thing, and that's why it's great that you've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Gordon Ramsay. Best yet, Gordon. Thank you so much. All right, still to come. Don't go anywhere. We've got Ed Sheeran on the show, Russell Howard and Rita Ora are performing live. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Let's get my next guest right out here. He might have a tiny guitar, but it's made him one of the biggest music stars in the world. Let's have a look at his latest single. A great hit for him. Perfect. Look at this.
Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know who it is. It's Ed Sheeran. We're going to take your hand going. You can't... Ed, it's great to have you back on the show. Thank you for joining us again. So let's get to these arms of yours.
Yeah.
You've got a different part of each arm is broken, I believe. Is that right?
I broke my rib as well. So I broke my wrist, my elbow, and my rib.
Wow, how'd that happen?
I came off a bike.
Okay.
Looked quite fast.
A motorbike or a...
Bicycle.
A pedal bike?
Pedal bike, yeah.
Where, what?
I was in
Okay,
Suffolk.
so where you in Suffolk? What, going down a really steep hill, I imagine? Yeah, dangerous.
The thing is, like, when it happened, like, I got up and I was like, that hurt, and then cycled to the pub, and then went home, went to sleep, and then woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, like in a lot of pain.
Agony.
Yeah, and then went to Ipswich Hospital. So yeah, I've had to postpone a couple of shows, which sucks. It's actually the first time I've ever cancelled shows, and I did try to say I'll just carry on doing the shows, but they said if I put any more stress on it, I might not be able to play again. So it's good to be sensible.
And how long before you're well enough to play again?
Don't really know. I don't really know. They're saying 4 weeks, and then we'll look at it.
Well, but I'm glad you're okay. You've got to be more careful, Ed.
Thank you.
Don't just say thank you. Think about what I'm saying.
Well, I'm quite a clumsy guy anyway. Like, I remember before a show in 2013, I had to have like 12 stitches in my hand because I was playing drums with 2 beer bottles at about 4 o'clock in the morning. It smashed into my hand. But that's the thing. I did a show after that, and it wasn't fine. But I did a show, and then I put my foot in a boiling geyser in Iceland. I had my face cut open. Like, I'm a very clumsy person.
That doesn't sound like clumsiness so much as stupidity. the geyser thing, because you must have seen there was a boiling because it didn't.
No,
it's
it
not
was
like
it was like a tiny little pool, and I walked up to it and it was bubbling.
And then it went push.
No, and then my leg just went into it. It was terrifying. Anyway, let's move on.
Well, no, this is all we're going to talk about. All right, so listen, well, the new album could not have been a big success for you. At one stage, you had almost every spot in the charts was a track from the album.
Yeah, it was Coldplay and Chainsmokers that stopped me having the full 10.
So are you ambitious that way? Are you thinking, oh, why didn't I just get that? Why didn't I have every single spot?
Well, no, because, you know, it was kind of like a loophole that we didn't really know that we could do, you know. Basically, streaming had just become part of the chart.
Yeah.
And then they've now changed it.
So even though you haven't released it as a single, it still counts because it's being streamed separately.
But they've changed it now. You can't do that anymore.
So you probably have some sort of a record there then. No one else has had that, have they?
Yeah, I have the most top 10s of any one album.
Wow. In like one day. You went travelling. You took like how long did you take off in between the second album coming out?
Well, it was technically a year, but I was recording for most of that, so I was only travelling for like three months, like intensely.
And you tried to go places where people didn't know you, is that right? Some of the time, at least.
Yeah, well, I went to countries... I had a sheet of where I'd sold the most records and the least records, and then I chose the places that I'd sold the least.
But this wasn't to try and encourage them to buy more. This was so you could have some degree of... You
Well,
weren't going door to door.
Ironically, the country that I went to, it's now gone very well in, and I can't really go there anymore.
Which country is that?
Japan.
So Japan, you're big in Japan now?
Yeah, Shape of You is the biggest selling song of the year there.
Wow, well, congratulations. That's amazing. And you've written for so many other people as well. You've written with Rita Ora, of course, who's here this evening. You helped her have her last hit, of course. Congratulations. She's beautiful. And then you've written with or for Justin Bieber as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Now, the Biebs is a somewhat divisive figure to many. I like the Biebs. but
do you know what? At every phase of the time that I've known him, I've never come out of a situation without an awesome story. And he's now totally sober. He's really good. Like, and we're in Japan, and he'd done a phone commercial that he probably got paid a shit ton for, and I was doing
sort of Ramsey money. Yeah.
a little bit more, I reckon. But
yeah, that'll happen.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, and I heard he was in town. I was doing some promo, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, let's hang." And I was like, I don't really want to go out and have loads of paparazzi there. So I was like, well, I know a really good dive bar that's made out of a train carriage that's called Train Bar, that when you ring a bell, you have to buy everyone in the bar a shot, and you're there with loads of rocking Japanese people, and everyone's like, yeah.
It's a great fun party.
Oh man, it's great, yeah. So I was like, we're going there, and he was like, okay, and he turned up on his own. And I was like, this is cool. So we sat there for a bit. He had water. I did not have water. And then he was like, let's do some karaoke. Not like that, obviously, but... so we went to this karaoke bar, and then he sung Thinking Out Loud on karaoke. I sung Love Yourself on karaoke, which was quite fun. And then someone from his record label came, and I think Universal have built a club in their label, so they were like, come to the club. So he turned up at this club, which had a golf course in it. And he lay down on the floor and put a golf ball in his mouth. And, I had a golf club, and he's like, hit it out my mouth. And I kind of look at his security guard, and the security guard was like... And I was like... Yeah, and I ended up really hitting him.
So you took a pretty big swing then?
Yeah, and missed.
So you whacked him in the face?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to give you something interesting, Jonathan. Let's talk about, gimp masks and shit.
Have you worn a gimp mask? Is this
no, but you know what? My mate got that, that Amazon thing that you can shout at and it orders you stuff.
Alexa.
Yeah, that's it. So he had that and he wasn't in, and I ordered him and his wife a gimp mask.
Wow.
and it turned up, and they sent me a picture, which I think is going to be their Christmas card this year.
OK, we need to see that picture later on.
Yeah, I'm not into all that technology.
Well, you don't even have a phone anymore, do you?
No, and I don't really I still like buying albums and listening to them in the car.
Well, here's the thing. Let's rewind to the phone thing. That's unusual, and it's hard for people. You must have a phone, Gordon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard for people.
He's got kids, though. If I had kids, I'd have a phone, but I don't have any responsibilities.
But what do you do when you're bored? Do you not play the Crazy Birds? Do you not have a Scrabble on there?
Do you know what? This is the weird thing, because I think my generation was the last generation to not have phones when we were younger.
Yeah.
And you both have not had phones at one point, and when you're in a situation when no one's there and you don't have anyone to talk to, now you just go to your phone and do it. But way back when, you thought and you think about things, or you have a conversation with someone else, or and I just... Yeah, I don't want to sound too high and mighty and oh, this is the best way to go, but honestly, I talk to people more and I think more, and it's a good thing.
No, it's absolutely a vital thing. So you've done it for that reason. You've done it really to...
Well, no, I did it because I don't really like speaking to people. Really, I like being antisocial. I have to be very sociable for my job, but I like being antisocial.
So do you go off on your own sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really just walk around.
No, not in the streets though.
Yeah.
But have you got a place at home, a room, not the toilet, but a room where people don't come into when you're in? Do you have a space where you can say, no, I'm going to go and do something for me in here? Don't take it that way.
Well,
but you know what I mean, or listen to music.
I can't do that anymore, mate. What am I going to do?
Yeah. I'm sure you could find someone to help you out, Ed.
Justin.
Do you fancy it? I reckon he'd say some really aggressive shit as well.
Can you make...
You fucking love it, didn't you?
Well, this evening's taking an unexpected turn.
He sounds like...
I know, if he said anything like, oh, you want to be going, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Come on.
I'm talking to Ed Sheeran. It's not all about you, Gordon.
He smells nice.
He smells of cocaine. Here's the thing about Ed Sheeran, ladies and gentlemen, is he's a huge talent, obviously, but a genuinely nice man to bump into. Whenever I've met you, things, you've always been very friendly and very sweet and very open. You claimed recently, you said you went through a bit of a bad phase where you kind of lost touch with yourself when you first became famous?
No, it's kind of midway through. First, I think it took... I didn't really have any growing up time into getting famous. I'd had, like, a long period of growing up normally, but I think you need to, when you get into the industry, adjust to it, and I didn't adjust because I was just constantly working on tour. And you just... all the pitfalls that people read about, like, this happened to this person, this... I just found myself slipping into all of them, which
so,
is
like,
why...
a sense of entitlement or believing that you were the...
No, mostly substance abuse, I think.
Right.
Mostly
so things that were on offer, which
yeah.
you thought previously you might be strong enough to avoid.
That I'd never touched anything, I started slipping into it, and that's why I took a year off and buggered off.
And so how did you avoid slipping into it? Did you talk to someone about that, or did you have the strength, the kind of inner strength to say, no, I don't want to be that person?
No, I just focused on other things. I focused on work, and I can't work under the influence. I can't write songs under the influence. I can't perform under the influence. So the more I worked, the less yeah.
So in a way, it was your career, or you desired to carry on with that and to carry on making music?
Yeah, and you know, like I've worked my whole life to get to where I am, and it's you can't lose that over something that you do in your spare time.
Was it the pressure, do you think?
No, it was just I don't know. I just didn't really notice it was happening. It was just I kind of like it just started gradually happening, and then some people sort of took me to one side and was like, "Calm yourself down," and I was like, "Oh fuck, I should probably take some time off." Yeah.
And when they first said that to you, though, because a lot of people, especially who become very successful very fast, and the people are worried about saying things to you, for them to say that to you, that took some courage on their part and obviously a genuine friendship for you. But were you prepared to listen immediately? Did you initially think...
No, because, man, it's all fun. It's all fun to begin with. It all starts off as a party, and then you're doing it on your own, and it's not. So I think that was, like... that was a wake-up call, and taking a year off. And, you know, I've rekindled with a girl I went to high school with, and we live together now, and I think that was, like, a real help kind of grounding me in terms of... Because I've, like, you know, I was a 25-year-old in the music industry on tour, so I just needed someone to sort of, like, balance me out.
Well, that's nice to hear. That's a lovely thing to hear, and I'm pleased you're through that. And I'm sorry about your hands, but they will heal, of course.
Yeah, you know, it's all right.
Let's hope that you will be a little bit more sensible in future, Ed. Ed, it's great to see you again. Ed Sheeran, ladies and gentlemen. OK, still to come on the show. Stick around. We've got Russell Howard, the very funny Russell Howard, and the fabulous Rita Ora. I'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guest out. She is the best thing to come out of Kosovo since... Well, she's the best thing to come out of Kosovo. Whether it's a singer or an actor, she's always fabulous. It's Rita Ora. That's a very elegant look. That's a very
thank you.
elegant
I
look.
thought I'd bring a bit of class to what we've been talking about recently.
Yeah, exactly.
What's been happening on this couch?
Well, it's Ramsey. Now, you know Ed well, of course. We just discussed you guys have worked together. OK.
Yeah. We've known each other since we were 16.
Wow.
No, we're on the same management company way back when.
Way back when.
OK.
And, yeah, then he became a massive superstar and then wrote tunes, and I was like, this is such a tune. And then, actually, I'm surprised it took us this long to work together, but obviously he's busy.
Do you know Gordon at all, though? Have you ever eaten at one of his restaurants?
Well, actually, funny little story. I mean, I was wanting to. I mean, like everybody else that wants to go eat in a Ramsey restaurant, and then I just didn't get in.
What happened?
So listen to this. Well, basically, I don't think you know about this, obviously.
No.
Because he'll probably fire him or something.
Well, who certainly used some language in their presence.
No. I went in, obviously, I wasn't dressed the part. I walked in, I was like, oh, I'd love a little, like, meal, you know. And they just were like, no, this isn't happening.
What were you wearing then? What did you consider?
I was just wearing a trackie. I'm kind of like a tomboy, so I was usually just wearing like trackie, trainers, and I think that it was like a dress code or something.
Damn.
But you know what? One day, can I just ask now, can I come to one of your restaurants?
Yes, you can. As my guest.
There's the one at Heathrow that does the airplane.
But for free, though.
Yeah.
Good, get in there, good deal.
Yeah.
Was it closed? No?
If I say, are they going to get in trouble?
No, don't worry.
I don't know, I don't believe you.
What area was it in?
I'm not saying anything.
You helped, is this true, you helped Ed to find the house that he's in now?
No, basically, I lived in a house that Ed now lives in, and obviously it was a house that I was renting out, couldn't afford it at the time. Major, beautiful place. And yeah, then I stayed there for a few months, and I was actually, when I left, I was like, you know what, I can now actually get it, and it was gone. To this one.
Wow. But you think it's haunted, is that correct?
I do have a haunted house.
What do you mean, I do have a haunted
I know.
I have a cottage that a little girl lives in the attic.
But a little ghost girl?
Yeah, a little girl. Like, I have three people that have stayed there that don't believe in ghosts, and they've all seen her.
What do they see? They see her walking around, or...?
Yeah, no, they just, when they sleep in the top room, and they wake up with her at the end of the bed, and there's three, I'm not even, like, joking.
What's her name?
Oh, man, I don't know. But it's basically the top room has a trapdoor in it where
the person hides,
yeah, so it's from the 16th century. So people would go there when they were ill, and then they die, and then they get lowered down. And yeah, I've had, but the girl that cleans it refused to clean it anymore because she's seen it so many times.
Really?
Yeah.
So she's seen the ghost. Have you seen the ghost?
No, I'm not sleeping. Oh, fuck that, man.
Let me ask you, though, about your childhood, because we've never really spoken about
Yeah.
this, but your family, they came from what was Yugoslavia, I think, back
Yes.
then, and now, of course, it's Kosovo. The war was going on.
Yeah.
So you were here, and I guess you were a refugee family.
I am, yeah. I'm a proud refugee, and I moved to London when I was 1.
Was it tough? Did you feel like there was a stigma attached to where your family come from? Did you feel welcome? Did you feel comfortable?
Yes, I was blessed. I had a great family. My mother couldn't really speak English then, but now she's a psychiatrist and works for the NHS,
Wow.
which is awesome. Wow. Yeah, and my dad owns pubs.
Yeah.
So he loves a pint, that guy.
But that's a classic example of people coming over and just doing incredibly well. Really
No, honestly,
making
yeah.
the most of the opportunities.
Without dwelling into it too deeply, I mean, I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have a change of environment. So I'm very lucky to be the best thing that came out of Kosovo. Self-proclaimed, by the way.
And was there stuff that you remember, because you were tiny when you left, but was there stuff that you had then which were like traditional Kosovan food or drink?
Yeah, well, this really good, nice thing called pite, which is like layers of pastry with spinach, and you can put cheese in there, and it's gorge. It's so yummy. And you dip it in like Greek yogurt with some garlic. I love garlic.
We thought we'd look into whether there were any Kosovan dishes, and we couldn't find
Yeah.
the food, but we were speaking to the Kosovan embassy.
Really?
Yeah, and they
You know, I
recommended...
just got my ambassadorship for that.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations. They recommended... They said, we've got rakia. This is a regional fruit brandy alcoholic beverage solely made from grapes. Now,
I do like this.
Here's the thing. This is the truth.
It's for, like...
We couldn't find it. We asked the embassy if they could send some over, right? This is what they sent over. A half-empty bottle.
They probably were drinking it at the embassy.
It's a rough day at the Kosovan embassy.
They must have been
This is what they
wasted.
sent us. This is all they had left. You want to try some, Ed?
I'm not actually allowed to drink at the moment.
You can't drink at the moment. OK, Gordon, you want a bit of this?
A little sip, please.
Have a sip, because it really does knock you off.
So is it like is it like a shot? Like a...
No, this you sip.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, it's really strong. The good thing about this is that you just never know when enough is enough, because it's so strong. So every time you have it every time you drink it, you think you're drinking it for the first time.
Right.
Because it just knocks you
It
out.
smells pokey.
Yeah.
That's got some
Oh,
punch
it's
to it.
real, isn't it?
This is a real... What do you think, Gordon?
I don't know how I'm going to perform after this, but we'll see.
That's what Gordon said. Holy, that's not my favourite drink.
Really?
So,
You know what?
so you drink that at home?
Rakia.
Yeah, with my dad and stuff. And we
Christmas
just-
time?
Yeah, around Christmas time. I think what's cool is that I just like alcohol, so... I just drink, anyway.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
And that certainly is alcohol.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm like Ed, I can't really perform or work under the influence. So, like, after work, it's a really nice, like, treat to yourself.
You know, the end of the working day, kick back,
Oh,
get
it's the
shit-faced.
best. Yeah!
You know, I've got to congratulate you. You were in a movie, Southpaw, and I'm going to talk about there's two things I want to talk about this. But Southpaw, I thought you were amazing in it.
Thank
I
you.
didn't even know it was you. I didn't recognise you. It was only after when someone said, oh, she was in this film.
That really happened because I used to act when I was a kid. I went to a theatre school, so I was really excited to just be involved in it. And yeah, it was a small part. I played a crackhead, and then I ended up doing some. Sorry, is that bad to say crackhead?
Well, no, it's a character you're playing. I think I think there's probably a politer term in terms of the character. You're playing someone who would have been called in the film.
Yes.
That. So
yes.
therefore, it's
a prostitute crackhead, to be specific.
Well, you're not making it any better
Sorry.
right now, but...
With 2 kids.
OK, so she's a very disadvantaged person in a difficult spot. Yeah.
And then that elevated into doing the 50 Shades stuff.
Yeah.
And then I did just a really cool independent movie, actually, with the late Carrie Fisher, which was incredible. Yeah, and it was really sad because she actually passed away whilst we were filming it, so it was pretty difficult to kind of get back into the role of things.
It must have been great working with her, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. She was just... I think she was, you know, star... Like, the whole thing was so incredible that working with her, I always just saw that character, you know. She would drink lots of Coca-Cola and just be living life. Yeah, so it was an amazing experience. There she is. Look at that. Yeah. Coca-Cola with a sig.
Yeah, that's amazing. And when's that coming out? What's that called?
That comes out next year. It's called Wonderwell.
It looks fun. It looks fun.
Thank you. It was fun.
The reason why I want to show you know where I'm going with this, of course, is because the movie Southpaw, that was a Harvey Weinstein film. And that could not be more in the news right now, and you must have met with that.
It's insane.
Were you on the receiving end of any untoward behavioural advances from him? Did you know that's what he was about? Was it a kind of an open secret, or did you not encounter that?
I did not encounter that. And I value everybody's confidence in coming out and being brave and showing their independence. And I think it's an incredible time right now, especially in the world, to really prove yourselves and stick up for who you are and what you believe in.
Well, you know what? Thank you for speaking on the subject. And you're going to perform for us in the show. So, and are you touring at the moment? What are you doing?
I start touring next year, my second album. I'm super excited to just finally be out on the road and, you know, be back and just perform. And, yeah, I'm going to give you an exclusive first performance of my new single, Anywhere.
I can't wait. Well, we put a special floor in for you,
yeah,
so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Thanks for that.
It's really lovely to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for coming on. Read it all, ladies and gentlemen. OK. Joining Lisa in a moment, we have the fabulously funny Mr. Russell Howard. Don't go away. OK, welcome back to the show. Let's get out my next guest. He's been a brilliant comedian for many years, but recently his material has taken on a more biting and satirical edge. I'm thrilled he's on the show. It's the very funny Mr. Russell Howard. Sorry for the wait. I get carried away with you.
So close. There you go.
Russell, it's great to have you on. Great to have you here. You've met Ed before, I believe, haven't you?
Yeah, me and Ed, when you were 17, we met?
17, yeah. I snuck into a Palanitini after party to hand out CDs.
Wow.
And it was really, really nice as well, really sweet.
That's nice that you were not. I mean,
well, that was the first thing I asked. It just, I wasn't a dick, was I?
No, but I felt bad because you must have been waiting for someone. You were standing on your own, and I kind of just walked up to you and went, "Here's my demo." And you were like, "Oh, thanks."
You just say that demo.
I know, mate. Yeah. Was it a demo?
Yeah, it was. There was probably 20 of them. I burned them all on my laptop, and because the Palanitini gig was going on, and I was playing in Hammersmith around the corner.
So I could have had one of 20 of your demo.
Yeah.
Man.
It'll be somewhere.
It's all right, I feel the pain.
Now, you just became a record breaker. Russell Howard just became a record breaker, ladies and gentlemen. He beat Frank Sinatra's record of 10 nights at the Royal Albert Hall. That's an amazing feeling.
It was a great feeling, and then my mum, as ever, brought me down by saying, yeah, old Blue Eyes, beaten by young wonky eyes. So I had a moment of joy, and then I was destroyed.
Well, because you have got what we call the lazy eye,
I do, yes.
Yeah.
And it's technically my mum's fault, so she shouldn't mock me.
I can't notice it.
How come it's your mum's fault?
Genetics, John.
Oh, I see, because I see. I thought maybe she'd done something to you.
Oh, you thought she'd bludgeoned
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know what you meant.
You want someone to succeed in life.
So, Russell, you know what? I love your mum. I love seeing the stuff you've done with your mum. I love when you talk about your mum. And you're going back on... You're going to do some more TV with your mum? You're going back...
Yes, can't wait.
She's quite a successful individual in her own right now. Her TV appearances with you have put her on the map.
She's doing all right, mate. She's doing all right. Yeah. Well, in fact, when you guys were talking about ghosts, me and Mum stayed in a haunted house in Savannah, and there was an Irish girl that had died in that room.
Wow.
And yeah, it was very scary. And I was asleep in that room, and I heard, genuinely, in the sort of dead of night, I heard a voice go, "Ah, look at you. Ah, look at your lead there. Oh, look at your lead there." And it was my mum under the fucking bed. And I went absolutely... But it's that horrible moment when it's all caught on camera, and I go like that, because and it's like I'm so close to hitting my own mum.
It's amazing.
Luckily, I didn't. Yeah.
And you've done a stand-up tour in China as well.
Yeah, I've been all over.
Now, presumably you don't speak Mandarin or
no,
Cantonese?
that was another question my mum asked me. And I was like, again, I probably would have spoke Mandarin before I went to the gig. It was amazing. It's the first time I've done a world tour. Like, I gigged in China. In America, I made 2 women laugh in an elevator simply with my face. I walked in, right? Wow. I walked in and they started, there was 2 50-year-old women and they were proper, here, huge laughs. And I said, what are you giggling at? And this woman looked at me and went, Sugar, has anyone ever told you you look like Ellen? And honestly, you've never heard it. It was like just bouncing off the walls. I look like a charming lesbian, I didn't realise.
Yeah. Well, you've got a nice look about you. You look friendly. Did you notice there was a difference in the way fans greet you in the Asian venues you're playing at when you were in China, for example? Was that different to the UK or America?
What was strange about the gigs in China is that I did a story ages ago. I met a young boy with cancer and I went to see him, and that clip went viral in China. So to explain the story, I met a 14-year-old boy and he was watching a clip of mine called Mr. Dildo. It was me dressed up, as a penis. And he found it very funny, and he was dying, and he was planning his own funeral, and he was really funny, he was really dark, and he was making people go to the funeral dressed in what he wanted them to wear. So he's making his dad go dressed as Death, and if somebody coughed at the funeral, his dad had to point at them. So I was kind of laughing along, and he said, would you go? And I said, of course I will. I said, what do you want me to wear? And he went, I think you know. And this kind of moment dawned on me that I was going to have to go to a child's funeral dressed as a dildo. And I went to see him subsequently. He was in a hospice, and he survived. He lived. It was an incredible story. And I said, will you let me tell this story? And I did it on stage at the O2, and I said, in fact, I want you to come on stage at the end. And he said, what do you want me to wear? And I said, I think you know. So he came out wearing this hot costume, and the whole crowd laughed, and it was beautiful. But because that clip had gone viral in China, I'm kind of walking around. I didn't know this, but people would just go, Mr. Dildo. Kind of waving at me, going, small boy penis. You're like, no.
That's what they shout at Gordon.
But it took me a while to figure out what had happened.
Your material has... I'm not wrong in saying this, though. It's not so recent, I suppose, but in the last 4 or 5 years, you've got much more political in your work. It's still very, very funny. Now, what will that change about, Russell?
Well, mostly, I think this summer was a huge time with the election and, like, to be honest, Grenfell was a really big thing, I thought, that when it happened, we were all consuming the news, we were all kind of reading about it and finding out that 5 grand could have saved those people. I kind of thought, God, if you... And a bit like you're doing, Gordon, I mean this sincerely, like doing a TV show about that and finding out that concrete goes into coke, that's the way to tell people. So I kind of think, if I'm passionate about something, I can be angry and I can be funny. And I find it a lot easier to write jokes about that now. So, for example, like I found out the other day that there's young girls in England who can't afford tampons, so they're missing school, and yet our government's spending 500 million on changing passports from red to blue. So if I speak about that and take the piss out of that, more people get angry, maybe it doesn't happen. So that's my thing.
The new show you do on Sky, they seem to be giving you a lot of space, a lot of freedom to explore these kind of... Is it unusual for you to get that kind of freedom given to you?
It's a lot easier working there than the BBC. Yeah, definitely.
And so BBC, they were stamping you down a bit, were they?
Well, you just have lawyers saying, can you not say it like that? Can you do it like this? Okay. Can you like what? There was a bit that we did last time on the show where I wasn't allowed to call ISIS. I said that ISIS aren't Muslims, they're terrorists. And the lawyer went, can you not say that? Can you say that ISIS aren't fundamental Muslims, they're terrorists? And you're like, what, we're going to get a letter from ISIS, are we? Dear BBC, imagine my horror being misrepresented. My horror? Yeah.
And so what are you doing now? You're doing the TV show at the moment. Are you touring again?
I'm doing the telly show, and then I've got a Netflix special out, and then I'm going to have a holiday. I'm going to go on holiday, and that's it for a bit. Yeah. I quite like the idea of what Ed did. That sounded amazing, just wandering off.
Breaking your arm?
Not that. Although my sister's husband broke both of his arms recently, and I was looking after a little baby. He's 2, and Kerry rang me up. She's like, can you look after Wes? Please look after him. Gabe's broken both of his arms. I was like, yeah, sure. And my brother rang me up an hour later, and Jenny went, you heard? Kerry's got to wipe 2 arseholes. So that was... It was a fantastic moment in that hour. Yeah.
Russell, it's great to have you here.
Thanks,
The show is tremendous. I really enjoy seeing it. I feel like this is a weird thing to say, but I feel like I've seen you blossom and grow into a stand-up comedian now that one might not have thought you would have been when you...
It's very sweet of you to say, look
Yeah,
at you.
well,
It's like you're my dad.
It's great to have you here. Russell Howard, ladies and gentlemen, what's his show? Thank you to Russell, thank you to Rita Ora, of course, the fabulous Ed Sheeran, and one of my favourite guests ever, Gordon Ramsay. Rita, would you mind going over and perform for us now? Rita Ora's going to go and perform for us now, ladies and gentlemen. OK. Join me next week here on the show. My guest will be Andrew Garfield. We have Plan B performing, Claire Balding, Conor McGregor, and we have a surprise musical superstar guest. Tina Turner will be on the show as well. But now, with an exclusive performance of her new single, Anywhere, it is the wonderful Rita Ora.
Time goes by when the night is young. Daylight shines on an undisclosed location. Bloodshot eyes looking for the sun. Paradise and living and we called it a vacation. Your pain in me, a dream that I wanna belong, yes. Over the hills and far away, a million miles from LA, just anywhere away with you. I know we've got to get away, someplace where no one knows our name. We'll find the start to something new. Just take me anywhere. Take me anywhere, anywhere away with you. Truth comes out when we blacken out, looking for connection in a crowd of empty faces. The secrets are the only thing I'm craving now. All the good and the bad, let me in, 'cause I can take it. Your pain in me, a dream that I wanna belong, yes. Over the hills and far away, a million miles from LA, just anywhere away with you. I know we've got to get away, someplace where no one knows our name. We'll find a start to something new. Just take me anywhere, take me anywhere, anywhere away with you. Take me anywhere, take me anywhere, anywhere away with you. Take me over the hills and far away, a million miles from LA, just anywhere away with you. Anywhere, baby love. I know we've got to get away, someplace where no one knows our name. We'll find the start. I said we'll find the start of something new. Take me anywhere, take me anywhere, anywhere away with you. Just take me anywhere, take me anywhere, oh, take me anywhere, anywhere away, anywhere, yeah.
Rita Ora.